Okay, so it's Monday, so we're going to start on our feet. As always, just want to get a little bit of movement. So whatever that means, if you want to put on music or just follow along with me. Today we're going to be working in the shoulders, and it's more for a downward dog prep. So kind of going to strengthen the shoulders a little bit, get some mobility, and then go into a downward dog at the end. So come to your mats, and we're just going to begin with some movement. I just like swinging my arms from side to side. I have my feet a little wider than hip width distance apart. Taking some deep breaths. I like to let some breaths out through the mouth first. I'm just going to bring my feet now underneath the pelvis. I'm just going to gently hop without lifting my feet off the ground. Just some little bounces, and I'm letting my arms just feel relaxed down by my side. You can close your eyes if you want. Just make sure you're not like hanging your weight over your toes. I'm just going to shake now, give a little wiggle. Bring my shoulders into it. I'm just going to bring my arms up and give them a shake. Even if you want to bring the hops off the mat with a little shake. Let the jaw relax. I'm just hopping now and letting my arms flop by their sides. So really anything that feels great for you. I'm coming back with feet underneath the hips, big wide toes, putting the weight of my pelvis back into my heels. Maybe another little shake here. I'm going to bring my arms up towards the ceiling. I'm not going to bring my ribs. I'm just going to reach up. Take a breath and exhale, come down. I'm going to take a hand to my heart and one to my belly. And let's just take a moment here to just notice how we're feeling today. Notice how that bit of movement may have made you feel. Perhaps noticing the heart beating a little faster under your hand. And the breath under your hand on the belly, feeling the belly rise and fall. And I just want you to take your next couple breaths and focus on taking a full breath where you can just imagine the lungs expanding and the ribs giving room for the lungs to expand. So a lot of times when people take a breath, they tend to come up with their shoulders. But try to keep your shoulders down and just think about, or even try when you're breathing, to feel the breath expand the ribs. They actually move all the way around when the lungs expand. And when you are thinking about taking these deep breaths, it's more about the exhale. So inhale, but then just being more conscious of the exhale. So taking a breath comfortably on your inhale. And just savoring that exhale. And we can open our eyes. We'll just begin and bring our arms down by our sides. And we'll just begin with a little bit of neck stretch. So we're just going to bring our neck down towards our chin. Take a breath. And come up. Nice and gentle when you raise, keeping the chin tucked so the neck is nice and long. Just a simple tick-tock now from side to side. And when the ear is down on one side, extend the opposite arm, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Take a breath. Release, come to center. Take another breath here when you're ready. And then extend and moving down to the other side, extending the opposite arm. Taking a breath and exhale, come up. I forgot to tell you that you need a strap. So go get a bathrobe, a towel, anything at all that's long enough for you to hold it out wide. Sorry about that, I should have said that at the beginning of class. So go grab that. Hopefully you have something nearby. Whenever you're ready, come back to your standing with the hips or the feet pelvis width distance apart. And we're going to begin with holding the strap just, out to your hips. You can put your hands on each side of your hips, and the knuckles are forward when you bring your strap up like this. So we're just simply going to be raising our strap without the ribs coming up. So what I mean is not bringing the ribs along for the ride, just keep them down. We're just moving the shoulders in the socket, so you're just going to come up to wherever it is that you feel you've hit that boundary, and you're just going to stay there and take a breath. So you're not trying to reach back and like go into this place of force. You meet your boundary, you stay there, take a breath. Come down. We'll just bring it up again. Breath. Come down. Maybe give that a little shake. Now open the arms a little wider. And we're going to go move into that again. So take a breath. Bring the arms up. As far, if your arms don't go that far, that's fine. Wherever they go, it's good. Make sure your chin is not coming out, so just keeping the chin nice and long. Weight of your pelvis and belly back a little bit in the heels, toes nice and wide. Come down. Maybe a little shake in the shoulders. Take a breath. Open wider now, so pretty wide, wide enough so that when you come, you may be able to come all the way around. So that's what we're doing. And remember, you want to not bring the ribs with you, okay? So again, take a breath. And then with the next one, bring it up and see if you can go all the way around. So you may have to open a little wider until you can get there. I'm just going to go up and back. Moving with your own breath, inhale, rise. Exhale down, inhale up. And exhale down. We'll do one more of those. Inhale up and exhale down. And we can release that strap now. Oh no, we're going to do one more thing actually. So as the strap is wide, you may want to bring it in a little closer, somewhere that's comfortable. We're going to bring, but pretty wide so that you could bring the strap up overhead. So up overhead. And now what we're going to do is I'm just going to pull on with the right arm for first. And I'm going to kind of pull behind me and kind of like in that diagonal. So I'm just pulling behind and kind of like pulling the strap behind me. Okay. Take a breath, come up. And then again, so I'm just kind of I'm just moving the arms a little behind, reaching back. Taking a breath. Exhale up in front of you or above you, and then come all the way down. Okay, that was it for the strap. You can put that down. We're just going to do some nice shoulder rolls. So taking the shoulders up towards the ears, but try to initiate the movement with the shoulder blades, okay? So not so much shoulders, but try to move the shoulder blades up and then squeeze the shoulder blades together and move the shoulder blades down, moving with your breath. Take a breath here. Inhale, shoulders up, using the shoulder blades, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. Another one up. It's hard not to let the arms just come up and really initiate with the shoulder blades, come down. Now the other way around, so squeezing the shoulder blades together, move the shoulder blades up and around. And make sure while we're doing this, and sometimes when we're trying to focus on a movement, we tend to tense somewhere, like the jaw, sometimes we clench our teeth. So again, keep moving, keep going with this movement. Sometimes we really tense around the belly, so try to relax all of that. We're just moving in ease, so no need to strain here. And last one, and relax. I have to look because this is a class I've done before, so sorry. Okay. We're just going to move into some internal and external rotation in the shoulders. And I want you to take your right hand, place it on your right hand, place it on your left shoulder. And we're going to do these internal and external rotations with the arm. But again, we're trying to initiate the movement. So I can do this, and I'm initiating the movement with my wrist and my hand, my forearm. But I want to try to get the rotation going on in the shoulder. So you can bring your arm up to whatever height makes sense for you to do this. And we're just really trying to get the shoulder moving and rotating here in the socket. Just taking some breaths. Notice how it feels. You can move the arm in at different planes. Just noticing what difference that may make. And one more here. And we'll just do the internal, and then once it's internal, then bring the arm all the way around. See if that makes any difference. So I'm externally rotating the shoulder, and then I'm going to continue with the arm. It makes a little bit of difference on the external rotation for me. And release, give that a shake, move to the other side. Just feeling the shoulder, move at all different planes. Notice if it's any different than the other shoulder. And now when we go internal, we'll just bring the forearm and hand, see if that makes a difference. And then external the same way. And release, give it a shake, give it a wiggle. Take a breath. So I want you to get kind of familiar with stability in the shoulders when we're in downward dog. So we want all the musculature around our shoulders to support us, right? Because we're gonna be putting load onto our shoulders. So to get that feeling like your shoulders are really strong, this is one way to kind of get that feeling. So extend your arms out front, hands up or fingers up towards the ceiling. And we're just gonna bend the elbows now, keeping them at shoulder height. And then your fingers are now pointing at each other. And then I just want you to wrap. So it's just this feeling now, keeping the shoulders kind of where they are and just opening your arms up now like you're gonna be on all fours and so you feel that stability now probably in your shoulders. So you can just like kind of raise the arms up and down, shoulders feeling nice and stable. Okay, relax that, take a breath. Now we're gonna come down onto the floor. So I recommend getting something for underneath your knees. We'll be here for a little while. So come down, a nice way to come down sometimes is taking a step forward and just coming down on the back knee, nice straight back. So no flexing in the spine when you're coming down, just hinging at the hips now to come down onto your hands and knees. Okay, a little bit of movement perhaps just to get the hips warmed up. Some nice breaths here, any kind of movement that feels really nice for you, you can go ahead. And you can also do this seated if you're not, don't want to be on your hands and knees. You can do the same thing. Seated with your hands up like this. And we're gonna come into some rhomboid push-ups. So when we're in our knees underneath the hips, hands underneath of the shoulders. Nice wide fingers. Don't arch the back so we're not slumping down here in the lumbar spine. We're just keeping a nice flat back. So just get a feeling of your shoulder blades or a sense of where they are. So we'll start with them kind of just flat on the back here. And we're gonna move the shoulder blades again. So we're letting the shoulder blades come together. My arms are not bending. The only reason why I'm moving is because my shoulder blades are protracting and retracting. So bringing the shoulder blades together and shoulder blades apart. Shoulder blades together and apart. Also, amazing exercise here for keeping those shoulders back, especially if you're hunched at a desk. So just doing these every day is quite beneficial. So my head is kind of hanging here. I gotta remind myself to tuck my chin, try to keep the neck nice and long, but no tension. Okay, you can take a break here, come back on your toes, walk yourself back, take a breath, and then come down again. And now we're just gonna go a little wider. So we're gonna take our hands to like the edge of the mat. So my pinkies lined up with the edge of the mat. Still about underneath the shoulders, hips up underneath, or knees underneath the hips. Again, getting a sense of those shoulder blades flat on my back here. And we're gonna come right into it again. So we're just shoulder blades together and apart. Together and apart. And breathing with the movement. Inhale together. Exhale apart. Inhale together. Exhale apart. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, walking your hands. I like to do a little arch now in my back as I walk my hands back to sit on my feet, my heels. Take a moment here to breathe. Center again. Come back to your space. And now this time we're going to do the exact same thing, and we're just going to turn on that stability in the shoulders, and perhaps it already was when you were there. So we're just going to extend the arms like I said before. So extend the arms straight in front of you. And then we're going to bend the elbows, so bending them out to the sides. And then we're going to bring the arms and have that wrapping feeling. So we have that wrapping feeling now. And we're going to bring that down onto the mat again. And wherever your hands are, wherever they land, it could be underneath the shoulders, a little wider, doesn't matter. So knees underneath the hips. And now just feel what that feels like in your shoulders. Do you feel a difference? Do you feel like your armpits are kind of hollowed out? So hopefully you do, but if not, that's okay. Don't worry, you will get it eventually. So again, I'm going into that rhomboid push-up again. So I'm just letting the shoulder blades come together and apart, and perhaps you notice a difference here. So keep moving. Inhale, come down. Exhale, protract the shoulder blades. Retract, let them come together. And we'll do 2 more here. Okay, so I'm bringing my knees together, my toes together, heels together, a little tiny arch in my lower back as I walk my hands back to sit on my heels again, spread my toes, get a nice stretch here. You can rock back and forth on your feet. Come back to your breath. So we're just going to go into a reverse prayer. So we're just gonna take the backs of our hands, bring them together. Make sure your shoulders are not up to your ears. Just bring the backs of the hands together, reach the fingernails, touch the fingernails together, stretch the thumbs out away from you. And we're going to begin a little high, like by the breastbone there. And we're gonna just start to move the arms down, but only to the point where your hands, the back of your hands start to come apart by the wrists. And when you get to that spot, stay here. If your feet are getting a little tired, by all means, just come up onto your knees. I don't know if you can hear the wind, but it's surely blowing it here. Okay, and release, give that a little shake, and we're gonna come back onto hands and knees. So you may wanna even give your wrists a little massage or a rub here if they're starting to feel a little tired. Okay, so we're gonna come down again with our hands underneath the shoulders, or maybe a little wider if that tends to be more comfortable for you. Knees hip width distance apart underneath the pelvis. And now we're just gonna simply, keeping the ribs in, no arch in the lower back. We're just simply, I got my toes tucked, we're simply gonna just come back. We're just really looking at that mobility now, like just thinking about your being in your downward dog here, okay? So if you can turn that on again, so sometimes to turn those shoulders on to be really stable around the joint, I kind of think of it as more of like an external rotation. So like we did that external rotation in the shoulders to begin. So it's just that kind of feeling. So stable shoulders, come down. And just like when we move in downward dog, we have these stable shoulders now. So just coming back and coming forward. So armpits of power is what my yoga teacher calls it. And come back. And up. Just noticing the mobility change. So if I didn't have that stability happening in my shoulders and I just let them go, I could go back like this, no problem, right? As soon as I turn that mobility or that stability on around my shoulders, I'm only getting this run. And come back. Take a breath here. Take a relax. You can go into a child's pose if you want, or just taking a breather here. Taking a moment. Sending some love to your fabulous, strong shoulders. Okay. So now coming back again, hands wide, underneath the shoulders, a little bit wider if that's more comfortable. Turn that stability on around the shoulders. And now what we're gonna do, we're just going to we'll have our toes, untuck our toes. No, not on my toes. And now I'm just going to have those strong shoulders turned on and I'm gonna lift the knees and just stay here. Take a breath. You don't need to be clenching anywhere. If you feel like you need to support your core, like you really feel like you need to, don't pull in. If you're really kind of trying to push out into the muscles like on your sides here. So it's not a coming in, it's more of a pushing out, but not a pushing out down below. It's a pushing out of the muscles on your side, okay? The latissimus dorsi muscles, all of the nice muscles that keep your core really strong. But I like to try to just keep my belly nice and relaxed, okay? But you may, if you are, when you come up, yes, you don't need to clench. If you clench, just don't clench in. Or brace, whatever you want to call it. So continuing with this. And when you come up now onto your knees here, or take your knees off the mat, I want you to just make sure that your weight is not swaying anywhere, that you have weight evenly distributed on your hands and your toes here. Come down. Take a breath. And now again, raise, and this time like you're gonna push your bum back, like you're coming into downward dog. And come down, make sure those shoulders are turned on. You can try it at different You can open your hands a little bit if you want, keep them underneath your shoulders, doesn't matter. Turning the shoulders on, taking the knees up, and now pushing the hips back. And come down. Again. So I'm raising the knees off and then kind of pushing like I'm going to come into downward dog, but not quite. Whew, and come down, come into a child's pose, come in whatever pose that's restful for you. I'm just going to come back and sit on my heels here. Taking a break, taking a breath. I'm going to give my wrists a little massage here. If this is getting too strenuous on your wrists, you can always do it against a chair as well. So you do that wrapping. Got my shoulders already nice and stable. Same thing, just really coming into this downward dog with a chair. Still feeling nice, strong shoulders here. I'm just bending my knees a little bit and unbending them. So this is very nice as well. Okay, give your wrists a little shake. And we'll come down one more time. So this time we will have the hands again, get those shoulders so that if you need to do that wrapping, that's a good way to get that kind of feeling there. Come down, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, do not arch in the lower back. Tuck your toes, lift the knees, they're hovering, and now go into this downward dog. You may need to, I have to step my feet back a little bit, go into a longer downward dog. So my shoulders are turned on now. I have my knees nicely bent. My neck is relaxing. And if I were to lose that stability around the shoulders, I would just be like coming up like this. But with that stability around the shoulders, I have less mobility there to move. So I'm keeping my knees nice and bent, a nice bend in the knees, looking between my legs, and then just practicing moving one knee and then the other. Completely different downward dog. I think you would agree. It's a lot harder. Take your last breath here. You can do a little movement, but really just focusing on that stability in the shoulders. And come down and come into whatever resting position you want. I like, if I come into a child's pose, to have the legs, the knees nice and wide to each side of the mat. Bring the toes together, and then I like to outstretch my, I like keeping my back nice and flat, so I don't like rounding here. I just like coming up onto my arms here and just really thinking about the mobility in the hips to get me down, because I don't want to be extending in the spine like this. I want to keep my back nice and straight. So I like this version, but please, whatever is comfortable for you. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Relax that space between the eyes, the forehead, the jaw, and the shoulders. One last breath here. Extend the ribs, let the ribs expand. And come up. Checking my time. Okay, so we're gonna do that one more time. Hopefully your wrists are okay. If not, again, you can use a chair. There's also the option of coming onto your forearms. You may enjoy that, may not. And if you do that, it's nice to bring blocks like this. Turn the shoulders on. And you can do the same thing, okay? So you choose whatever works for you. So getting right into that position again, turn on those shoulders, knees underneath hips. And this time we are going to go into that downward dog, but first we're going to come into a plank. So I'm going to extend one leg, and I want to extend the other without a lot of wobbling or jiggling going on. So my shoulders are stable. One leg and then the other. So you're in this nice plank. And if you want from here to go into that downward dog with those strong shoulders, bend the knees and then move back. You can adjust your legs, feet, wherever they feel comfortable. Relax the head. You can bend one knee and the other if you want, or keep them both bent. And you're not extending up where you're arching your back, okay? Nice, just straight spine. And come down. Take a break, take a rest, wiggle your wrists or give them a little massage. And we're just gonna do one more of those, okay? So taking a breath, coming back to that place of ease. So let the belly relax, the jaw, around the shoulders. And we'll come into it one more time. So get the shoulders, the stability in your shoulders happening. Coming into another plank, but this time start with the other foot, okay? So I'm putting my left foot back. And now trying to keep my weight evenly distributed. Letting the belly just breathe here, relax. And I'm gonna step now the other foot back. Take a breath. Notice what kind of clenching may be going on. And now bending the knees and moving back, feeling that movement in the shoulders here. Relax the head. You may need to adjust your feet, no worries. Keeping the spine not arching in your lumbar spine. Keeping the knees a nice bend in the knees. Push down through all the palms of the hand, the palms and underneath the fingers. Don't come out to the outer edge of your hands. Oh, another big breath here, letting the ribs expand. So, and exhale. Whew, come down. Come back to sit on your heels. Give that a shake. Taking a moment to notice how you feel here. How do the shoulders feel? Do you feel like you may have some more space there in your shoulders? Your shoulders may feel stronger, tired. Okay, good job. So what's next? We're going to come down onto our backs. So I like to have, if you want to have something under your head, by all means, I'm just going to move this blanket now to go under my head. I am coming down. So I'm just going to come down by placing my hands and then come down on my elbows and then gently with the chin tucked, come down onto the back. So ribs touching, small arch underneath the back, line up your feet, make sure that they're lined up the same, heels across from each other, hip width distance apart. And we're going to take our arms into this cactus. So again, just like we were doing, just reach the arms up and then place the arms down so that your arms are in cactus. Light fists and keeping the ribs pushed down into the earth. You're not, when I say push down, I don't mean push and hold. I just mean make sure that your ribs are touching, a little arch in your and your lower back. And you're going to press now. You're gonna press down into the floor, okay? So again, we're using those, strengthening those muscles that help keep our shoulders back and not rolling, which happens a lot when we're sitting at a desk. And I think all of us these days, we sit way too much, right? So this is great for that. So we're just pushing the backs of the arms into the floor. Don't squeeze your hands, just light fists, or you can not even have a fist, but just a gentle fist, and we're pressing and relax. Take a breath. Again, press down. Notice if the ribs want to come up, try to keep them down, okay? Just pressing in the backs of the forearms. Press down to the floor. If you feel between your shoulder blades, probably some strength going on there, like contraction there. And that's what you want. And relax. Again, press. And relax. Oh, and when you're pressing, make sure you don't hold your breath or clench your jaw or your face. So try to release and be at ease everywhere else. That's the trick. So pressing again, press. Pressing in. And relax. And we're going to do one more. So take a breath. Make sure you're relaxed everywhere else in the body. Send all your energy into pushing down on the floor. Push. Push. Oh, and relax. Bring your arms out by your sides. I like to have the palms face up towards the ceiling and just let your arms go wherever they feel good. Take some breaths here. That was great work on the shoulders, like wonderful work. So just taking a moment, quieting down. Notice what's happening around the shoulders. And now, before we go into Shavasana, any kind of movement here that feels great for you, go ahead and move right into it. I think I'm going to bring my hand to the opposite shoulder. And I'm just going to open my right leg and let it come down. And then let the left leg come down to meet it. And I'm just going to roll over onto this shoulder to give it a little massage. And then I'm going to open up this leg, the left leg now, and it's going to pull the other leg over, and I'm going to come over into the left. So be very gentle here with when you're opening the leg, gently bring the one over. So you're not really trying to get it, you stretch your legs apart here. That's not the idea. Move with your breath. So I'm rolling right over into my shoulder, massaging it with the floor. Letting one leg open, the other one to follow. I'm going to take the arms along, reach them onto my knees. The arch is still in my lower back, my ribs are still touching, and I'm just going to rock on the sacrum here now with my lower back. You can do circles here, go one way and then the other, or rock back and forth. You can move one leg and the other. So like I'm kind of moving them in different directions, doing like I'm gonna go the other way. So I'm just bending, bringing one leg in towards me as I'm kind of circling around. So flexing one leg in towards me and then the other, and at the same time rocking back and forth, or side to side, sorry. Okay, time to relax. So I'm gonna just let my legs come out, maybe give them a little wiggle. My arms, I'm going to just lay them out by my sides with palms facing up. I'm just moving my ankles, so stretching my toes forward and back. Internal and external rotation with the legs. Now let's completely let go of everything. You may want to place the shoulder blades nice and flat against the floor. Making sure that the chin or the back of the neck is nice and long, so you don't want your chin going up towards the ceiling. Now bring your attention to those shoulders. Notice how they feel. And now remind them to relax. Relax the face. Create a little space between your teeth. Relaxed jaw, relaxed forehead. Letting your body just feel heavy against the floor. Noticing your shoulders again. Probably noticing that you worked them, right? Noticing some sensation around the shoulders. Remind them to relax again and allow that feeling to spread down your arms, into your hands, out your fingers. Relaxing the jaw, the back of the neck, the throat. Your mind may be busy, and that's okay. It's normal for all of us. Just see if you can come back to those thoughts later and just watch them kind of go by, or think of them as just thoughts. Let them go and let them know that you're going to come back to them later. Because for now, you're going to continue to relax the whole body. Let your back be heavy, your pelvis, your belly, imagining all the muscles around your shoulders and your back and your belly letting go. Trying to let go of those muscles in your lower back that are often always turned on. Allow your pelvis to be heavy, your pelvic floor to relax. Allow your glutes, your thighs, your legs, moving down your legs to your calves and shins, your ankles, feeling this relaxed energy moving through you, out the toes. Just a reminder to let your body know how it feels to completely relax it. To give your body this focus and letting go. If you notice any tension creeping in, bring your attention to that area and allow it to relax. So important to rest the body, important to become more aware of where you hold any tension and stress. And so that you could, and you're able to release some of that tension. You can bring this into your everyday when you're sitting, doing your work, washing the dishes, doing any kind of work. Notice if you're clenching unnecessarily anywhere. And the common areas are the jaw, forehead, around the pelvis, the belly, the low back, shoulders. Just appreciating how this feels. I'm going to leave you here now so that you can stay here for as long as is needed for you this morning. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I hope to see you again. So I wish you a beautiful day and a great week. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me.